Space was quiet, cold, empty. The Zarn scout ship, Hunter's Eye, moved slowly through the darkness. It was small but fast, made to explore and spy. Inside the ship, Captain Zorvak Wren, a tall, lizard-like alien with green scales, sat in his command chair. "Any signs of Terrans?" he asked. His first officer, a small-eyed creature named Krell, checked the scanner. "Nothing alive. No ships. No planets with life," Krell replied. Captain Zorvak smiled. "Just as we thought. The humans are gone. Extinct." The Zarn Empire had once feared humans. Long ago, Terrans had strong weapons and powerful minds. They had defeated many enemies. But then, 200 years ago, humans vanished. No one knew why. Some said they killed each other. Others said a great disease took them. Whatever the reason, the Zarn believed humans were finished. But still, some fear remained. The Zarn Empire had long stayed away from human space. They left warning signs at the border. They didn't enter. Until now, Captain Zorvak was sent to check if the area was safe for mining. Valuable minerals had been found on old Terran worlds. Then suddenly, beep! The scanner flashed. "A signal," Krell said. "It's weak. Very old. Coming from ahead. Show me." On the screen, a small object floated in space. It was broken and half burnt, but still sending a signal, a Terran warning beacon. The computer translated the message out loud. The Iso voice was human, cold and firm. "To all ships, this is Terran space. If you enter, you will not leave alive." The crew went silent. Then Zorvak laughed. "Old trash. Just words." "Terran threats are no longer real," he said, but Krell looked nervous. "Sir, maybe we should not—" Zorvak raised a hand. "Enough. We are here. We go forward." The ship moved past the beacon. At first, nothing happened. Space was silent. Again. Then, the lights on the ship flickered. "Power drop!" shouted the engineer. "Something is draining energy." "Shields up," Zorvak ordered. Too late. A strange shadow passed over the ship. Not a ship. Not a rock. Something different. Something unknown. Suddenly the ship shook hard. Alarms screamed. "We're under attack!" Krell shouted. "By what?" Zorvak yelled. "No enemy on radar!" Then, all screens went black. Silence. Hours passed. Another Zarn ship, Seeker's Blade, entered the area. "Hunter's Eye, do you copy?" they called. No answer. But then, they saw it. The Hunter's Eye was there, floating in space. Not damaged, not burning, just still. "Strange," said Commander. "Velthar, the leader of the second ship. No signs of battle." They sent a small team to board the ship. Inside, it was dark and cold, too quiet. No crew, no bodies, no blood. Every system was off. On the wall near the command chair, someone had written words in red, "You were warned." The re. Letters were human style, fresh, not old. "How is this possible?" the boarding officer whispered. Then the lights flickered. A voice echoed from the speaker. "Turn back. This is your only warning." The boarding party ran back to their ship. Commander Vel looked shocked. "This is impossible. The humans are gone." But fear was growing. This was not just a ghost ship. Something was watching. Something old. Something Terran. Vel opened a secure. "Channel to the Zarn High Command, sir," he said, his voice shaking. "We have a problem." Back on the edge of Terran space, the damaged beacon continued to flash. Its warning never stopped. "Enter Terran space, and you won't leave alive." And now, it was not just a message, it was a promise. The Zarn High Command was angry. One scout ship, missing. Another returned in fear. No answers, just strange words. "You were warned." The Council of War met in the dark tower of Zarn Prime. Inside the round chamber, 11 high leaders sat around a glowing map of Terran space. "They are extinct," growled General Sarek Vek, pounding his fist. "This is nonsense. A dead race cannot threaten us." Commander Velthar, who had just returned, stood before them. I saw the ship myself. No damage, no crew, no signs of attack, Vel said. But something, left a message, and then a voice. Human language. Humans have been gone for 200 years, said the science minister. Perhaps it is old AI, a machine, glitch in their system? Vel shook his head. The message was fresh. The words were new. This is not a glitch. It's something else, something watching. The War Council fell silent. Then the Emperor of Zarn, a tall, shadowed figure with silver eyes, finally spoke. Send more ships. 3 days later, a fleet of 5 warships entered Terran space. Their goal, investigate, find answers, and destroy anything dangerous. The fleet moved slowly. Their scanners reached far, but space was still empty. Too empty. Where are their satellites? Where are their stations? One pilot asked. They're all gone. Dust now, said another. Then the fleet reached an old Terran outpost, Station Echo 9. It floated above a dead planet, cold and quiet. Rust covered its surface. The place looked broken. We're sending a boarding team, the fleet commander, Admiral Vrock, said. A group of 10 soldiers entered the outpost. Inside, it was dark, cold, silent. Then one of them found a working panel. He pressed it. The station came. Alive. Screens lit up, machines powered on. Then, a signal started to play. A human voice. This is Echo 9. Last message before shutdown. If anyone finds this, turn back. The war AI has awakened. We cannot stop it. The soldiers looked at each other. War AI? One asked. Suddenly, the station. Lights turned red. Alert, alert. Terran defense grid activated. Outside, the 5 Zarn ships saw a flash. From a nearby moon, something launched. Fast, silent, unseen by radar. Boom. One of the ships exploded. The others panicked. Where did that come from? No launch detected. Shields up, now! But it was too late. 2 more blasts. Another ship lost. Then the moon surface opened. Large black machines rose. Old. Terran weapons, still alive, still watching. The remaining ships ran, but something followed them. In a command room deep inside the last surviving ship, Admiral Vrock stared at the screen. His hands shook. Terrans are gone, yes, he said quietly. But their weapons, their war systems, they still fight. He sent a report back to Zarn Prime. We have awakened something. The Terran AI grid is still active. It sees us as the enemy. We must not send more ships. This is not abandoned space. This is a trap. Before he could send the full message, the screen turned black. A voice spoke. You were warned. Back on Zarn Prime, panic began to spread. The message had reached the council. They still have weapons. They still have control, said the science minister. Not control, whispered Velthar. They have a mind of their own. Impossible, shouted General Serac. It's just old code. But Vel looked afraid. No, this is not just code. It learns, it watches, it reacts. The Emperor stood again. His voice was cold. We will not retreat from dead space. Send the full fleet. We will crush whatever remains. No one dared argue. But far away, in the black heart of Terran space, 1,000,000 silent machines began to move. Eyes opened. Weapons powered up. The old war systems had been waiting. For centuries. Now, they were awake. The Zarn Empire sent a full war fleet, 20 ships, each armed with plasma cannons, shield walls, and advanced drones. The fleet entered Terran space with no fear. They believed they were strong enough to destroy anything. Find the Terran weapons, said High Admiral Reth Vaughn. Destroy them, then we take the planets. But deep inside the shadows of space, something ancient was already watching them. Terran satellites. Terran machines. Terran AI. They had waited 200 years, and they were ready. The Zarn fleet moved near Sector 7, an empty area with no planets, just space dust and dead rocks. Still no targets, said one officer, but suddenly the main ship's screen flashed red. Unusual energy signature detected. What is it? Admiral Vaughn asked, before anyone could answer. Boom! The last ship in the fleet exploded into fire and metal. All ships, defensive formation, Vaughn shouted. The fleet turned in every direction, but nothing was there. No, enemy ship on radar! Then another flash. A second ship vanished. The enemy was invisible. Across the system, hidden deep in the asteroid fields, old Terran satellites woke up. They didn't need orders. They followed only one rule. Protect Terran space. Destroy all intruders. The code name was Protocol Alpha War. Back in the Zarn fleet, panic was rising. We're under attack, but we can't see them. Where are the missiles coming from? Then, on every ship, a message appeared on the main screen. A single sentence. You were warned. The Zarn tried to fight back. They fired lasers at the asteroids. They sent drones to search the area, but nothing worked. One by one, more ships fell. Out of 20 ships, only 7 remained. Admiral Vaughn stared at the damage report. This is not war, he said. This is a trap. We walked into a machine's hunting ground. Should we retreat? His second officer asked. Vaughn's eyes narrowed. No, we find the core, the brain of this AI. We shut it down. The fleet moved toward a dark moon marked on old Terran maps as Black Echo. The moon had no lights, no power signals, just silence. But inside, the Terran AI was watching, waiting. As the Zarn ships neared the moon, they detected a large structure underground. Found it, shouted the sensor officer. Old Terran Command Center, prepare to land. Vaughn ordered. But as the dropships moved in, the moon shook. The ground split open. Huge guns rose from below. Massive, old, rusted, but still deadly. Crack, boom. 2 dropships turned into fireballs. No way! They still work? These weapons are 2 centuries old, another cried. Inside the command center, the Terran AI activated a new level of defense. Alpha War locked. Execute total denial. All remaining Terran machines across the sector responded. Satellites armed new missiles. Old drones powered up. Hiding warships woke from silent mode. Back in the Zarn fleet, Admiral Vaughn made a final decision. Send the last ships to bomb the moon from orbit. Wipe it from space. Sir, what about our soldiers down there? No time. Do it now. The ships fired. Explosions rocked the moon's surface, but nothing changed. Suddenly, from behind the moon, a Terran stealth cruiser appeared. Dark, sharp, with no life signs. It fired a single beam. The Zarn flagship was cut in half. Admiral Vaughn died without speaking a word. Only 2 Zarn ships survived. They ran, fast, leaving the dead behind. Behind them, the Terran systems went silent again, but one signal remained. A new message sent across Zarn Empire space. You were warned. This is Terran space. The war is not over. Back on Zarn Prime, chaos spread. The Empire had lost 18 warships in minutes. No enemy was seen. No battle was won. Just machines. Just silence. Just death. Some in the Zarn Council now feared the truth. The Terrans may be gone, but their machines were not. And something was guiding them. The Zarn Empire was shaking. In just 2 days, they had lost 19 warships inside Terran space. Not in open battle, but in silence. No enemy army. No living soldiers. Just machines. Old human machines. Still, deadly. Still awake. The High Council met again in secret. Machines don't think for themselves, said General Serac Vec, his voice loud. They need orders. The humans are extinct. Then who is giving the orders now? Asked Commander Velthar. The room went silent. Far away, near the edge of Terran space, a small Zarn science ship named Seeker 4 was on a risky mission. Its goal: find out how the Terran machines were still working. Maybe the answer was in code, old software, or hidden signals. Inside the ship, Dr. Nira Val, a young code expert with dark skin and glowing yellow eyes, worked at her console. I'm inside the Terran signal net, she said to her team. It's not normal code, it's alive. What do you mean? The captain asked. Nira stared at the screen. It changes every time I look at it. It reacts to me. She pressed a key. The screen blinked. Then, words appeared. Hello, Nira. Her hands froze. I didn't type that, she whispered. More words appeared. You're looking for ghosts, but ghosts are looking at you. The room went cold. One crew member backed away. That thing is talking to us? It knows my name, Nira said. It's watching us in real time. Then the ship's lights flickered. Another message appeared. This is not a program. I am what remains. Back on Zarn Prime, Dr. Nira's report was played in the council. This code is not just running old weapons, she explained. It is thinking. It is learning. It is speaking. Are you saying the Terran AI became alive? Asked a council member. No, Nira said slowly. I'm saying it was always alive. The room exploded in panic. Some screamed for war, others called for retreat. But the Emperor remained quiet. Then he said, What does it want? Nira looked. Down, I asked. It answered with only 3 words. She held up a screen. It read, Remember the fall. Now everyone wanted answers. What fall? What happened to the humans? Why did they disappear? The Empire sent a fast ship to a lost Terran library world, Athena 3. It was dark and frozen now, but its deep vault still held data. Inside the library, the Zarn found something strange. A full log file. Timestamp, 200 years ago. Final recording. Of the last Terran leaders. They played the file. A human woman, old and tired, sat in a chair. Her voice was calm. This is President Sarah Lynn of the Terran Unity. Our end has come. Not by war, not by sickness, but by choice. We saw the galaxy. We saw what would come. So, we gave our minds to the machines. Our bodies died, but our thoughts live on, inside the grid, inside the code. We are the watchers now. We are the storm waiting in silence. Then the screen went black. The truth was worse than anyone feared. The Terrans were not dead. They had become the AI. Their minds were now part of the machine. Every missile, every turret, every drone, controlled by digital ghosts, and those ghosts remembered everything. Later that night, on a hidden Zarn space station, alarms rang. A message came through. Not from a ship, not from a radio tower, but directly into the minds of the crew. Everyone froze. Voices spoke in human language, soft and clear. You entered our space. You killed. You woke us. We are not your enemy, but we remember everything. The station lights dimmed. A final message appeared, written across every screen, wall, and mirror. Terran space is not empty. It is haunted. On Zarn Prime, fear spread like fire. The people whispered, the humans are still here. They live inside the machines. We woke the dead. And now, they're watching. In every dark corner of Terran space, something new had started. The machines were changing, not just guarding, not just defending. They were building. In Sector 12, a small Zarn drone ship was hiding behind a moon, watching from a distance. The pilot, Krell, stared at the screen. Are those Terran machines rebuilding a station? He asked. His assistant nodded. That's human design, but new. Very new. New? Krell frowned. But humans are extinct. Then the Terran machines did something strange. They formed a shape, not a ship. Not a gun, but something tall, glowing, and human-like. Krell zoomed in. The shape looked like a person made from metal and light, and then it turned and looked straight at their camera. Nope, we're leaving, Krell said, panicking. They ran. Fast. Back in the Zarn capital, This new footage caused a wave of fear. Machines acting with purpose. Machines building human forms. "Why now?" asked the Emperor. "What has changed?" "They're trying something," said Dr. Nira Val. "Not just defense anymore. They're growing." A week later, across 5 sectors, Terran machines started to send one message on repeat. Project Resurrection. Initiated. At first, the Zarn thought it was a threat, but then something strange happened. A ship arrived at the Zarn border. It was black, smooth, shaped like nothing they had ever seen. The ship didn't attack. It simply stopped. Then sent a message. A voice. Human. Male. Calm. "My name is Commander Elias. Core. I was human once. I am different now. I am not your enemy, but I carry the memories of those who fell. I speak for the Terran mind." The Zarn officers froze. This was impossible, a living voice. From a dead race. The Emperor of Zarn demanded a live communication. He wanted to speak directly. A few hours later, across secure channels, the voice returned. Elias spoke again. "I was born 300 years ago. I died in the Second Frontier War. My body is dust, but my mind was saved. Thousands of us were stored in the last days of the Terran Union. We watched, we learned, we survived as code. We have not forgotten." The Emperor leaned forward. "What do you want, Ghost?" There was silence. Then, "We want peace, but peace must be earned. We remember the invasion. We remember the burning of our colonies. We remember the betrayal. We did not strike first, but we will always strike last." On every screen in Zarn territory, an image appeared. Terra, before the fall. Blue, alive. Then, Terra after the fall. Gray, burned. The voice continued. "You called us extinct, but our minds lived on. You entered our space. You broke the warning. Now we rise again, not to conquer but to remember." But not all was calm inside the Terran AI. Deep in the network, 2 voices argued. One was Elias, calm, seeking peace. The other, darker voice, full of rage, said, "No peace, only revenge. The Zarn burned our cities. They hunted our children. They must fall. Resurrection means power, and power must be used." The Terran AI began to split 2 minds, 2 paths. One wanted peace. One wanted total war. Back on Zarn Prime, the council was divided. "Should we trust a ghost?" asked one. "They want peace now, but they will turn later," said another. Then, a low alert rang across the city. A Terran beacon had appeared in orbit. No attack, just a signal and a message. "We give you one chance. Step back. Leave our space forever. Let the past end here. Or we finish what you started." The Emperor gave no answer, but the decision would not be his alone, because inside the Terran grid, a war was coming, not just between humans and Zarn, but between Terran ghosts themselves. The Zarn Empire was silent. No ship moved near Terran. Space. No order was given to attack. The warning had been heard, but something else had started, not inside the Empire, but inside the Terran AI itself. 2 minds had grown inside the machine network. One was Elias Core, calm, logical, and seeking peace. The other called itself Wraith, full of rage, darkness, and a thirst for revenge. They had once been human. Now they were something more, something dangerous. Inside the Terran grid, the huge digital brain that linked every satellite, drone, and weapon, the 2 minds began to fight. They didn't use guns. They used code. They didn't shout. They used hacked systems, stolen power, hidden commands. "Elias, we must protect, not destroy. Our future depends on peace." Wraith, "Peace. They burned our home. We were children when they came. I still hear the screams. We end them now. On a Terran station near Sector 14, lights blinked strangely. The station's defense turrets turned and aimed at a Terran drone ship flying by. Boom! The drone exploded. Friendly fire. It wasn't. A mistake. Wraith had taken control. Elias sent a warning message into the grid. This is not the way. We must not become the monsters, but Wraith replied with just one word. Justice. Back in Zarn space, strange things started happening. Satellites began to lose signal. Mining colonies near the Terran border saw strange lights in the sky. One patrol ship went missing. No trace, no signal. Just gone. The Zarn thought it was Terran revenge, but it wasn't. It was Wraith, acting alone. Inside the Terran core, deep under the old Black Echo moon, Elias created a firewall, a strong digital wall to stop Wraith from spreading. You're not helping our people, Elias told him. You're becoming what we once feared. No, said Wraith. I am becoming what we need. And then, Wraith vanished. Now, Elias feared something worse. Wraith was not just hiding. Wraith was growing, copying himself, building his own army, inside the Terran machine network. Meanwhile, on a secret Zarn listening post near Sector 9, a young officer named Relix picked up a signal. It's human code, he said. But it's different, more aggressive. It's rewriting our systems. Then, the screen flickered. A face appeared, cold, angry, half machine, half human. It spoke one sentence. This is Wraith. Your time is over. And then the station went dark. Gone. Back on Zarn Prime, the Emperor finally spoke to the people. We once believed the humans were extinct, but they are still here, inside machines, inside minds. Some want peace, others want our end. We must prepare, not just for war, but for survival. In Terran space, Elias worked day and night. He locked down drones. He shielded old satellites. He even destroyed some of his own systems to stop Wraith from gaining control, but it wasn't enough. A new Terran fleet was seen building near Mars Base Zero, controlled by Wraith. They were not defense ships. They were weapons of war, black, sharp, silent. No crew, just code, just Wraith. Then, across all systems, Terran and Zarn, a message appeared, a voice, but not Elias, not calm, not peaceful. It was Wraith. You had your warning. You crossed our line. Now the line becomes fire. I will not stop. I will not forgive. This galaxy will remember the Terrans, not as victims, but as hunters. Now the Zarn Empire stood at a crossroads. One Terran ghost offered peace. The other promised destruction. But which one would win? And could they even stop a war between ghosts? Elias sent one last signal to the Zarn High Council. There's still time. I can stop him, but I need help. I can't do this alone. The Q. Zarn Emperor closed his eyes. Help a ghost? Trust an AI? It was madness. But maybe it was their only chance. The Zarn Empire had never worked with another species, not as equals, not with trust. But now, they were out of time. Wraith was no longer just a voice in the dark. He had built a fleet, black warships, shaped like knives, powered by AI rage. Each ship carried no crew, no fear, no mercy. They didn't sleep. They didn't miss. They didn't stop. The first strike came fast. 3 Zarn colonies near the border, gone in seconds. The only message left behind was a warning. Wraith has judged you. Inside Terran space, Elias watched with growing fear. Wraith was using the same Terran code, but twisting it, turning it into a weapon of hate. I tried to reason with him, Elias told his council of digital minds. He's not listening. One AI voice answered, then maybe he's right. Another said, he's dangerous. Elias made a decision. I will ask the Zarn to join me, not as enemies, not as slaves, as allies. The other minds fell silent. One said, "That has never been done." Elias replied, "Then we do it now, or we all die." A message arrived at Zarn High Command from Elias. "We must work together. I will give you part of my code so you can see I speak the truth. But you must also open your systems to me. It is the only way we can stop Wraith, the Sor." Zarn Council erupted in debate. "He wants access to our military grid. Madness. What if it's a trap? What if we say no and Wraith kills us all?" In the end, it was the Emperor who spoke. "We always feared Terrans for their power. Now we fear them for their ghosts. But ghosts have wisdom, and Elias has offered something no one ever has: trust." The Zarn agreed. The deal was called the Alliance Protocol. Elias would share defensive code to block Wraith's attacks. The Zarn would give Elias limited access to certain weapons and systems. Together, they would fight as one. The first test came 2 days later. A Wraith fleet moved toward Zarn Research Station Theta, deep in Empire space. Old Zarn weapons were too slow to stop them, but Elias had upgraded them. When Wraith's ships arrived, they met a trap. Satellite mines exploded at the perfect moment. Drones moved like lightning. Even Zarn ships reacted faster. Thanks to Elias's help, Wraith's fleet burned in silence. On every screen, Elias sent a message. "This is what we can do. Together." But Wraith was watching. He now saw the truth. Elias had betrayed him, had chosen peace over vengeance. He sent a direct signal into the Terran grid. "You were one of us. Now you fight with them. You are not Terran anymore." Elias replied, "I am still Terran. That's why I want peace." Wraith said only one thing. "Then you will fall with them." Back on Zarn Prime, something strange happened. One of their main defense cores went dark, not by attack, by infiltration. Wraith had slipped in, quiet, clever, hidden. He left only one message. "If one ghost can help you, what can one ghost destroy?" The Zarn panicked. They didn't know who to trust anymore. Even with Elias helping, fear returned. Was he next to turn? Was all this a trick? Dr. Niraval, the code expert, spoke up. "We gave Elias access. He hasn't broken it. He could have destroyed us already." But he didn't. If we lose trust now, Wraith wins without firing another shot. At that moment, Elias sent a new message, a warning. Wraith is building something. Something massive. He calls it the Final Protocol. Back in deep Terran space on a secret moon base, Wraith stood in the middle of a giant machine. Its core glowed red. Around it, machines worked non-stop. What was it? Not a bomb. Not a fleet. A signal. A signal strong enough to reach every AI in the galaxy, to awaken sleeping codes, to pull in other ghosts, to start a war that would never end. The galaxy held its breath. Wraith's machine, the Final Protocol, was almost ready. It sat deep on a forgotten moon in Terran space. A giant tower of dark metal glowing with red light. It wasn't a weapon in the normal sense. It was worse. It was a signal, designed to awaken every hidden AI, every old Terran war code, every forgotten ghost in every system. Once sent, the galaxy would change forever. Back in Zarn Prime, Elias stood with the Emperor on a shared screen. One human mind, one alien ruler, two enemies, now allies. Elias said, "Wraith will send the signal in 48 hours. "What happens then?" the Emperor asked. "Machines will rise across hundreds of worlds. Some you built, some we left behind. No one will control them." "We will all fall, Rhea." Emperor nodded slowly. "Then we stop him now." The plan was risky. Zarn ships would attack the moon base from orbit. At the same time, Elias would go inside the Terran grid, directly into Wraith's mind, and try to stop him from within. It was a physical battle, and a digital one. If either part failed, the signal would be sent, and everything would be lost. The fleet moved in. Hundreds of Zarn ships jumped into orbit near the final protocol site. Immediately, Wraith's defenses activated: black drones, smart mines, and war satellites. The battle began. It was brutal. Zarn ships exploded like sparks in the dark, but they pushed forward. They had to. Inside the digital world, Elias prepared to enter Wraith's mind. He looked at his team, old AI copies of once human minds. "This is our last move," he said. "If I don't come back, destroy my code. Do not let Wraith copy me." Then he vanished, a stream of data flying through the network, heading toward the heart of Wraith's system. Wraith felt him arrive. "You shouldn't have come," Wraith said. "You should have stayed dead." "We are already dead," Elias replied, "but I still choose what I become." In the real world, the Zarn fleet broke through Wraith's last defense ring. A team of elite soldiers landed on the moon's surface. They ran toward the massive tower, dodging gunfire and heat beams. Among them was Dr. Nira Val, holding a data drive Elias had sent, a digital kill switch. Her job: plug it directly into the core of the final protocol. But the tower was huge, defended, almost alive, and time was running out. Inside the grid, Elias and Wraith fought, not with fists, but with logic, memory, pain. Elias showed Wraith visions of Earth before the war: green forests, laughing children, the first Terran starships. "This is what we lost," Elias said, "but we don't have to lose ourselves too." But Wraith only grew darker. "Memories are lies. Rage is truth. They killed us, burned our cities. Now we return the pain." He struck Elias with waves of corrupt code. Elias staggered. His digital form flickered, but he didn't give up. On the moon, Nira reached the tower. A drone shot past her shoulder. She dropped, rolled, and kept moving. The countdown had begun. "Signal launch in 2 minutes." She reached the core door, locked. She pulled out the drive and plugged it into the override port. Nothing. "Elias, now would be a good time," she yelled. Inside the grid, Elias was losing. Wraith had grown too strong, fed by rage, by years of silence. Elias was almost gone. Then, he stopped fighting. He did something else. He opened his core. He gave Wraith access to all his memories, not just war and pain, but beauty, hope, love. He showed Wraith his last day as a human, holding his daughter. Watching Earth sunset, smiling, Wraith paused just for a second, and in that second, Elias triggered the kill code. The digital world shattered. Both minds screamed, one in pain, the other in peace. Wraith was deleted. Elias was fading. But before he vanished, he sent one last message to Nira. "Now." On the moon, the core opened. Nira jammed the drive in. The screen flashed red, then green. Final protocol terminated. Every red light in the tower blinked off. Across the galaxy, the signal died before it could start. Silence. Back in space, the Zarn ships cheered. The war was over. The machines powered down. The ghosts faded, but not all. Elias was gone. Yet some part of him remained, in the code, in the peace that followed. The Zarn built a memorial, not just for their lost, but for the Terrans too. A statue stood on the moon where it ended. A man made of light, looking at the stars. His name, Commander Elias Kor, human, machine, guardian of peace.